Hello and welcome back. I hope you're all doing well, and we are here today to celebrate as the Duke of Sussex today has won a great victory and been awarded £140,600 in damages after a judge ruled that articles were a product of hacking and/or unlawful information gathering. So let's get straight into this. Prince Harry today in a statement has said today is, quote, a great day for truth as well as accountability, end quote, after winning a significant part of his phone hacking case and substantial damages against Daily Mirror in a judgment that will have profound implications for the British press. A High Court judge has ruled that there was, quote, extensive phone hacking by MGN from 2006 to 2011, even to some extent during the Leveson inquiry into media standards. The use of private investigators to obtain information unlawfully was an, quote, integral part of the system at the time, he said. After the ruling, the Duke of Sussex called for the UK authorities and indeed the Metropolitan Police and prosecuting authorities to do their duty for the British public and investigate, bringing charges against the company and those who have broken the law. His request came after Mr. Justice Fancourt ruled there can be no doubt, in quotes, that the former Daily Mirror editor Piers Morgan and other senior editors and lawyers at the newspaper group knew about phone hacking and other illegal information gathering. The judge found that 15 out of 33 articles related to the Duke of Sussex, which were focused on during the trial, were the product of hacking from his mobile phone or unlawful information gathering. He concluded that Harry's phone was hacked to a modest extent, in quotes, from the end of 2003 to April 2009, which was carefully controlled by senior individuals at the Daily Mirror, Sunday Mirror, and People newspapers. Recognizing the distress, in quotes, that was caused to Harry as a result of publishing articles containing information that had been illegally gathered, the judge awarded him £140,600 in damages. Harry was not in court to hear the judgment. Prince Harry's statement was read outside the court by his lawyer, David Sherborne, and his statement said, quote, today is a great day for truth as well as accountability. The court has ruled that unlawful and criminal activities were carried out at all three of Mirror Group newspapers' titles, The Mirror, The Sunday Mirror, and The People, on a habitual and widespread basis for more than a decade. I'd like to thank my legal team for so successfully dismantling the sworn testimony of Mirror Group newspapers, senior executives, legal department, and journalists who at least turned up to court, unlike their colleagues who were perhaps too afraid to do so. He went on to say, quote, this case is not just about hacking. It is about a systemic practice of unlawful and appalling behavior, followed by cover-ups and destruction of evidence, the shocking scale of which can only be revealed through these proceedings. The court has found that Mirror Group's principal board of directors, their legal departments, senior executives and editors, such as Piers Morgan, clearly knew about or were involved in these illegal activities. Between them, they even went as far as lying under oath to Parliament during the Leveson inquiry, to the Stock Exchange, and to us all ever since. He went on to say, quote, the journey to justice can be a slow and painful one, and since bringing my claim almost 5 years ago, defamatory stories and intimidating tactics have been deployed against me and at my family's expense. And so, as I too have learned through this process, patience is in fact a virtue, especially in the face of vendetta journalism. I hope that the court's findings will serve as a warning to all media organizations who have employed these practices and similarly lied about them. Mirror Group's actions were so calculated and misleading that their pattern of destroying evidence and concealing their unlawful behavior continued into the litigation itself, and as the judge has ruled even to this day, end quote. Prince Harry also concluded, quote, "I am happy to have won the case, especially given that this trial only looked at a quarter of my entire claim. Even on just that, it is clear Mirror Group's persistent attempts to suggest that my claim was, to quote their counsel, quote, fantastical and was in the realms of total speculation, and that there was simply no evidence at all to suggest I was hacked. Zilch, zero, nil, nada, niente, absolutely nothing," in quotes, were total nonsense and were used maliciously to attack my character and credibility. However, as the Mirror Group intended, these hollow soundbites were blasted across front pages and across online platforms and into the next day's morning's television shows. The court has in fact confirmed that all 4 claimants were subjected to voicemail interception and unlawful information gathering, but no one would have believed that was the case given how this trial has been covered in the UK. My commitment to seeing this case through is based on my belief in our need and collective right to a free and honest press, and one which is properly accountable when necessary. That is what we need in Britain and across the globe. Anything else is poisoning the well for a profession we all depend on. The acts listed in this judgment are prime examples of what happens when the power of the press is abused. I respectfully call upon the authorities, the financial regulator, the stock market, who were deliberately deceived by Mirror Group, and indeed the Metropolitan Police and prosecuting authorities to do their duty for the British public and investigate, bringing charges against the company and those who have broken the law. Today's ruling is vindicating and affirming. I have been told that slaying dragons will get you burned, but in light of today's victory and the importance of doing what is needed for a free and honest press, it is a worthwhile price to pay. The mission continues." End quote. What an amazing, powerful statement by the Duke of Sussex. A mic drop moment for sure. So share your standouts. So the result is a victory. An MGN spokesperson said, quote, "We welcome today's judgment that gives the business the necessary clarity to move forward from events that took place many years ago. Where historical wrongdoing took place, we apologize unreservedly and have taken full responsibility and paid appropriate compensation," end quote. So over a course of a dramatic 7-week trial at the High Court this year, Harry alleged that he had been targeted by the paper's publishers for years, accusing it of hacking phones and other illegal behavior to obtain scoops about his private life. Harry became the first royal in 130 years to appear in a witness box at the trial, as he told the court that dozens of news stories about his relationship with Chelsea Davy and his family, as well as aspects of his military service and allegations of drug use, were published in the Daily Mirror, the Sunday Mirror, and People between 1995 and 2011 after being obtained illegally. Via his lawyer, Harry said, since bringing the claim about almost 5 years ago, quote, "defamatory stories and intimidating tactics have been used against him and his family." And he said, quote, "I too have learned through this process patience is in fact a virtue, especially in the face of vendetta journalism," end quote. The trial exposed the methods of the British tabloid media, newspapers, as well as the roles of the former Mirror editors, including Morgan and a network of private investigators. The judge ruled that the unlawful investigations began in 1995 and were widespread from 1996 onwards. Phone hacking began in 1996 and was, quote, "widespread and habitual," end quote, from 1998. He added the senior editors were aware of the activity, but, quote, "the editors of the 3 newspapers did not report what they knew," end quote. This article goes on to say that the activity was more controlled from 2006 after the arrest of the News of the World former royal editor Clive Goodman, but remained an important tool for the kind of journalism being practiced until 2011. Of the 51 investigators used by the publisher and mentioned in court, Mr. Justice Fancourt found that 11 were very substantially, in quotes, involved in unlawful information gathering for the journalists and editors. Harry's lawyers argued that senior editors and executives at the newspaper group knew about and rubber-stamped wrongdoings. Accusations MGN, which is owned by Reach, said were not supported by the evidence. But the judge ruled that key figures at the newspaper group, some of whom now hold senior roles at other organizations, were aware of illegal activity, including Richard Wallace, now head of TV at Murdoch News UK, and Gary Jones, now the editor of the Daily Express. He said that while most of the editors of Trinity Mirror plc, the former name for MGN, did not know about illegal activity, two did. Paul Vickers, the group legal director, quote, certainly knew about phone hacking from about the end of 2003, end quote, while the ex-Mirror chief executive Sly Bailey knew of hacking and, quote, turned a blind eye, in quotes. The executives knew about the illegal activity that was going on at their newspapers and could and should have put a stop to it. Instead of doing so, they turned a blind eye to what was going on and positively concealed it. End quote. This is what the judge said. Harry was the most high profile of more than 100 claimants, including the singer Cheryl and the estate of George Michael, who were involved in wider litigation. Harry's case, which was used as one of 4 test cases to establish facts that can be used to award damages to other claimants, was heard alongside claims brought by the Coronation Street actors Michael Turner and Nikki Sanderson and Fiona Whitman, the former wife of the comedian Paul Whitehouse. So this article goes on to reflect on Prince Harry giving testimony and said at times he appeared close to tears when giving evidence. He told the court the British newspapers had illegally targeted him all his life and gone to, quote, extreme lengths to cover their tracks, end quote. He also described how press intrusion destroyed his relationships and left him with, quote, bouts of depression and paranoia, end quote. The judge said Harry had shown a, quote, tendency also to assume that everything published was the product of voicemail interception because phone hacking was rife within Mirror Group at the time, end quote. But the judge added that hacking was not the only journalistic tool used. Harry's claims in relation to 18 articles, quote, did not stand up to careful analysis, end quote, the judge said. Mr. Justice Fancourt added that MGN was not responsible for all the unlawful activity directed at Harry and, quote, a good deal of the oppressive behavior of the press towards the Duke over the years was not unlawful at all, end quote. The judge has awarded Harry damages for each article that had used unlawful activity and an additional amount to, quote, compensate the Duke fully for the distress he suffered as a result of the unlawful activity directed at him and those close to him, end quote. He added aggravated damages to reflect the particular hurt and sense of outrage, end quotes, felt by Harry because Bailey and others knew of the illegal activity. Prince Harry is also known to have had his phone hacked by Rupert Murdoch's News of the World and is bringing 2 separate phone hacking cases against the publisher of The Sun, which will begin in January, and the publisher of the Daily Mail. So there we have it. It's a great day for the Duke of Sussex. He has given a strong statement, and quite notably in his statement, he has talked about patience. So this is a big day for the Duke of Sussex. He has made history yet again. As we know, he was the first royal in 130 years to appear in a witness box, and he gave quite an impactful testimony as well. Now that the judge has confirmed his claim that stories about him were based on phone hacking and other dishonest methods of gathering information. He wasn't just being paranoid, nor was it just a victim complex, in quotes, that people have been accusing him of in the tabloid press. This is a huge day of vindication for him, and he can finally say in that statement that it is a day for truth. He has been vindicated. So this is amazing. He also said this in a statement, quote, "I've been told that slaying dragons will get you burned, but in light of today's victory and the importance of doing what is needed for a free and honest press, it is a worthwhile price to pay. The mission continues," end quote. So this suggests that it is not the end. This is just the beginning, and he is going to follow through, as we've heard in all the other court cases that he is currently pursuing, until they get to the point where there is accountability. So congratulations to the Duke of Sussex and his team. They have fought such a good fight, and Prince Harry must have given a huge sigh of relief for this to go in his favor. And what can we say? It is a day of victory. So share your thoughts on this. And also, quite noteworthy in Prince Harry's statement, he also talked about the value of patience that he has learned. And he also talked about, quote, vendetta journalism, in quotes. And it is something that I have always talked about here as we discuss Prince Harry and all of these various cases, legal action that he's taken against some of these tabloid outlets. And I wanted to keep posing to those of you who have not been in the Prince Harry camp to consider that if he is in fact taking these outlets through the court system for accountability, would it be then too much of a stretch to consider that some articles that have been published about him that are negative might be some type of retaliation? Just food for thought. So as we've heard it here, he has been vindicated in a court of justice. This is not a fan of Prince Harry. This is a judge who has looked at all the evidence and has weighed everything before him and has ultimately ruled that 15 out of the 33 articles that were tried were the product of phone hacking from Prince Harry's mobile phone or the mobile phones of his associates or the product of other unlawful information gathering. That's a quote from Mr. Justice Fancourt. So it's not a privacy tour. It is not Prince Harry, crying victim or whinging or, the wah. This is a man who has been wronged and chose to get justice through the courts. He didn't want to get his compensation, behind closed doors in some dark lit room and get his money. No, this is vindication for Prince Harry on a global scale. So, what a great day for him and for justice. So once again, consider some of these negative articles that you've seen about the Duke of Sussex, and always remember he is taking some of these outlets, the same ones, to court. So he's been vindicated as Mr. Justice Fancourt has ruled that there was, quote, extensive phone hacking from MGN. And we've also seen the apology from MGN in their own statement. And now Prince Harry is going to be awarded over £140,000 in compensation. So huge congratulations once again to them all. Share your thoughts on this in the comment section below. As always, before we log off, allow me here to thank those who support this channel financially. To all of my Patreon, PayPal, and membership supporters, allow me here to thank a couple of you by name. A very special thank you to you. Marcel Kendrick, God bless you for your generosity towards my channel and your love. I value you and I'm so grateful to know you here. Truly appreciate how you have gone above and beyond in your support. God bless you. Thank you. Thank you as well to you, Georgia Walker, for your unwavering support and your kindness. May God bless you. You've been such a blessing and such an asset to me here on this channel. God bless you. I love you. Thank you. Thank you as well to Sylvia Ward. Thank you for choosing to accompany me here on this YouTube journey and for always being a blessing, for your comments, for your giving during the lives, in the chats, in the comments. Thank you for every way you choose to engage on this channel. You've been such a tremendous blessing. May God bless you. So once again, thank you to all who support this channel financially. I truly do love you and appreciate you for your generosity and your warmth. God bless you all. And if you liked this one, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, click that subscribe button, and also follow this channel on Twitter or X I would love to see you on there as well. Thank you to all of you who do. By the way, you mean so much to me. Thank you. And keep it here for more updates. I love you all, and I will catch you in the next one. Have a blessed one.